Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. I have to say to the honourable member, it was never a good idea to attack our former Chief Whip. As a Remainer, but also a Democrat, my view following the referendum was that we had to respect the will of the people. That meant supporting the government to trigger Article 50, allowing the process of negotiations to begin as soon as possible, and offering support to the government on Brexit if they were acting in the national interest. Any government post a referendum would have had to begin the negotiating process to leave the EU quickly, and any government would not have found those negotiations easy. However, what we've seen so far from this government is a shambles, which has made this country a laughingstock and damaged business and public confidence in our future. As honourable members have said, the specific issue which is the subject of today's debate highlights the daily farce that we now experience. The Prime Minister has been unable to persuade her own Cabinet to support a preferred customs model, and the Brexiteers have united around their own alternative. She sought to resolve this by setting up Cabinet working parties to assess the veracity of each option. Presumably, Madam Deputy Speaker, our future customs arrangements will be decided by a kind of dragon's den. When the Foreign Secretaries brief a newspaper that the Prime Minister's preferred model is crazy, he isn't sacked. Instead, the Health Secretary is sent on the airwaves to tell the Foreign Secretary, via the media, to shut up. The Prime Minister claims that stability in Northern Ireland and the Good Friday Agreement must be ensured by making sure there is no hard border. Then her allies are sent out to threaten a border poll if the Cabinet doesn't support her preferred option. So much for the Conservative and Unionist Party. Now we hear that the government intend to produce a Brexit white paper, setting out their position on the key issues. Surely, other than in this incompetent government, this white paper should have been published at the beginning of the process, not halfway through. The truth is that with the referendum commitment, none of this is about the national interest. It's about party management within the Conservative Party. The Prime Minister is permanently conflicted between keeping the Brexiteers happy and saving her job, and acting in the national interest on the customs union and single market to ensure that she doesn't lose a fragile parliamentary majority. I accept that many Brexiteers believe they're acting in the country's interests, but some judge every decision through the prism of their political ambitions to lead a party with a ferociously anti-European membership. Madam Deputy Speaker, the decisions we are taking now are probably the most important in peacetime. They are far too important to be left to a government paralysed by weakness, division and personal ambition. That is why Parliament must now fill the vacuum being left, step up to the plate and build a coalition around the national interest. This means adopting negotiating positions which will do the least damage to the United Kingdom businesses' trade with the European Union, a comprehensive customs union, and nothing which will undermine stability in Northern Ireland. Of course, ultimately the decisions of the Commons must prevail, but it's right that the House of Lords fulfils its scrutiny role. It's frankly laughable to hear right-wing Conservatives, always opposed to modernisation, now calling for the Lords to do what they're told to do or run the risk of abolition. They simply don't have any sense of irony. Madam Deputy Speaker, we face the biggest peacetime challenge other than post-war in our history. And more than ever, we need politicians who can provide the leadership that this country needs. The government has failed, so now Parliament must step up to the plate. The majority voted to leave the European Union. That is true. But this didn't give any of us a mandate to allow ideological extremism to consign this country to decades of slow growth, wasted potential and permanent instability.
Madam Deputy Speaker, surely the key